Behind me is a French lilac which produces beautiful purple flowers in the spring. At least it used to before the Canadian hemlock to the east and the Norway spruce to the west grew large and started severely shading the plant. So what can be done? Obviously I could cut down the two competing trees. Nah, that's too much work and be pretty expensive. I could hire a tree spade to move it somewhere else, but that'd be pretty expensive too. So my third option is to propagate the lilac and plant the baby somewhere else. It would take a few years for it to start producing flowers, but that is the least expensive option. May and June is the prime time to propagate this plant because the new growth is quite young, and it's the new growth that's more likely to root. This is not the way to do it. I won't tell you who did it though. It wasn't me. Once my cuttings root, I can either plant them directly in the ground and protect them from various animals, or I can put them in pots and grow them for a season or so, but I will need to protect them from the winter temperatures. Today I'm using a traditional flat without drainage holes in it to propagate my cuttings. The rooting medium is a 50% mix of vermiculite and perlite. You'll also need a rooting hormone. This one is root tone, and this one contains a fungicide which will help just in case there are any rot funguses left over in this plant, even though I washed it. And I also have a dome that will keep the humidity in. That's important. Put a little bit of rooting hormone on a napkin. I don't need very much. Now my cut is going to be about 4 to 6 inches from the top and by a node, which in this case, these are nodes right here. And so I'm going to cut this off like this. So now you can see how it's at a slant. The purpose is to expose a lot of the surface area here, and those cells in there will differentiate into root cells. I'm also going to take off the leaves closest to that cut. Okay, the next step is simply dip these in the rooting hormone. You don't need to wet them, you just need a very light amount on it. If you put too much on, it actually can work against you. And then just put your cutting down in there. And this should only take you a couple of minutes. The final thing that I'm going to use is the heating mat, which will speed up the rooting. And I'll place this on a cabinet in the kitchen next to the window. I want indirect light, I don't want it in direct sunlight. And it should be just fine. And I'll make another video when they've rooted. This is Gary. Have a good day.